Imagine moving into your dream neighborhood, only to find it ruled by a petty dictator in khakis and a polo shirt. He fined families for trash cans being out a minute late, while secretly using HOA funds to build himself a brand new patio. Everyone thought he was untouchable, but I had other plans. What I uncovered not only cost him his presidency, but also his home, his money, and his reputation forever. If you've ever dreamed of watching a corrupt bully finally get what's coming to them, hit that like button right now. Subscribe for more stories of satisfying revenge, and buckle up. Because this isn't just HOA drama. This is the downfall of a wannabe dictator. When I first moved into my suburban neighborhood, I imagined peace and quiet. Kids riding bikes, barbecues on weekends, maybe some friendly neighbors waving as they mowed their lawns. Instead, I walked straight into the reign of Todd, the HOA president who treated our community like his personal kingdom. Todd was the worst kind of leader, power-hungry, smug, and absolutely allergic to accountability. He fined people $200 for leaving their trash cans out past 9 a.m. He nitpicked paint colors and fence heights. He even fined me $500 because the only available fence stain wasn't the one on his approved list. When I showed him the receipts and asked for leniency, he smirked and said, "Rules are rules." Then he walked away. That smirk? That was the moment I knew I was going to take him down. Not by yelling, not by fighting, but by methodically dismantling his little empire. Todd's first mistake was underestimating me. I volunteered to join the HOA board, playing the role of the eager, naive newbie. For 2 long years, I sat in meetings, watching, listening, and documenting everything. I learned Todd's playbook: bury people in paperwork, push votes through when allies were present, and conveniently lose any paperwork that didn't suit him. He was a control freak, but his arrogance made him sloppy. Something always bothered me. Our HOA fees were sky high, but the neighborhood looked terrible. The pool was constantly under maintenance. The landscaping looked abandoned. Where was the money going? As treasurer, Todd kept finances close to his chest. When I requested the budget, he laughed it off. "Don't worry, I've got it under control." Weeks passed with no records. That's when I started talking to neighbors. I discovered a goldmine of suspicion. One neighbor swore Todd used HOA funds to build a patio. Another noticed his kids swimming in the closed pool. Dozens had requested financial records over the years. None ever saw them. So, I filed a formal complaint, forcing Todd to hand over the records. He stalled, but eventually he cracked. The financial documents he handed me were a disaster. Missing invoices, mislabeled payments, and some expenses that made no sense at all. A $15,000 landscaping fee paid to a company that didn't exist. Thousands in administrative costs with no receipts. I dug deeper, cross-referencing bank statements with public records. And there it was. Todd was siphoning HOA funds straight into his personal account. He inflated contractor fees and pocketed the difference, splitting profits with his shady buddy who handled the maintenance. I built a bulletproof case: spreadsheets, bank records, photos, even notarized witness statements. The annual HOA meeting, normally a boring formality, was my battlefield. I spent weeks beforehand knocking on doors, rallying homeowners. I didn't reveal everything, just enough to spark outrage and curiosity. When the night came, the room was packed. Todd strutted to the front, acting like a martyr. "Managing this HOA is such a sacrifice," he droned. That's when I stood up. Calm, collected. I asked, "Todd, can you explain these discrepancies in the budget?" He laughed nervously. "This isn't the time or place." I looked him dead in the eye. "Actually, Todd, it's the perfect time." I handed out copies of my report. Pages rustled. Whispers turned to shouts. Homeowners read line by line, seeing exactly how Todd had stolen from us for years. His face went pale. His voice cracked as he tried to spin excuses. But it was too late. I called for a vote to remove him as president. Hands shot up across the room. In less than an hour, Todd's empire crumbled. With Todd gone, we brought in an independent auditor. The findings were worse than I'd imagined. $50,000 embezzled. Tens of thousands mismanaged. Fraud, plain and simple. We pressed charges and filed a civil lawsuit. Todd had to sell his house to cover restitution and legal fees. His contractor buddy, blacklisted from county contracts. And Todd's reputation? Destroyed. When he tried joining another HOA board in a nearby town, People literally laughed him out of the room. His name became a joke whispered at barbecues and block parties. Today, our neighborhood thrives. The pool sparkles, landscaping flourishes, and our fees are lower than ever. We restructured the HOA, adding term limits, financial transparency, and accountability safeguards. Every time I pass Todd's old house, now owned by a sweet family, I smile. Justice wasn't just served, it was plated, garnished, and savored. Watching Todd's smirk disappear as homeowners flipped through my report, that was the sweetest moment. He thought he was untouchable. He thought the rules didn't apply to him. But in the end, his greed destroyed him. And for once, the community he tormented got to watch him squirm. Karma doesn't always come fast, but when it does, it's brutal. Todd's downfall wasn't just about money. It was about proving that no bully is above accountability. Sometimes, patience and persistence are the sharpest weapons. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen in real life? Don't forget to subscribe for more true stories where justice is finally served.